First, let's go to Nur Odeh, who's near Ramallah in the occupied West Bank. Nur, following developments in Israel. So Nur, no let-up in Iran strikes across the country. That's right, and as we just went on the air, Nick, there was an early warning from Iranian missiles that are targeting the Upper Galilee, the Central Galilee, the Lower Galilee, and the occupied Syrian Golan Heights. These missiles are coming from Iran after a barrage of rockets fired from Hezbollah also targeted northern Israel. One woman in her 30s was pronounced dead by medical authorities on site. There was quite a large barrage, and as we know over the past weeks, there is very little advanced warning for the citizens, for the residents of northern Israel when rockets are fired from Lebanon, and that's why a lot of people have chosen to leave. Now, earlier in the day, we saw more Iranian missiles target cities like Haifa, like Tel Aviv, Dimona, and Beersheba. In Tel Aviv, there was a lot of damage, heavy damage to 3 buildings. 95 families had to find alternative housing, bringing to about 1,600 the number of families in Tel Aviv city alone who now require alternative housing. The number of people injured was limited, but the damage again was extensive in Tel Aviv, but also in the south. The situation on the ground remains incredibly tense as the aerial bombardment continues to affect various regions across the territory. The sirens have been sounding almost continuously in the northern districts, forcing thousands of civilians into bomb shelters as the frequency of these incoming strikes increases. Military analysts suggest that the scale of this Iranian intervention marks a significant escalation in the ongoing regional conflict, moving beyond proxy engagements to direct kinetic strikes from Iranian soil. The projectiles launched from Iran are reportedly being tracked across multiple flight paths, necessitating a high-level response from air defense systems, which are working around the clock to intercept as many incoming threats as possible. However, the sheer volume of the barrage, combined with coordinated attacks from Hezbollah in the north, is stretching the defensive capacity to its limits. In the occupied West Bank, residents have been witnessing the glow of interceptions in the night sky, a stark reminder of how widespread the impact of this military exchange has become. The humanitarian toll is rising, not just in terms of casualties, but in the massive displacement of families who no longer feel safe in their homes. The social and economic infrastructure in cities like Tel Aviv is being severely tested, as municipal services struggle to cope with the aftermath of building collapses and fire damage caused by direct hits and falling shrapnel. International observers are closely monitoring the rhetoric coming out of Tehran, where officials claim these strikes are a direct retaliation for recent security breaches and the killing of high-profile leaders. The complexity of the battlefield is further compounded by the geographical spread of the targets, ranging from the mountainous terrain of the Golan Heights to the densely populated urban centers on the Mediterranean coast. Emergency response teams and medical personnel are on high alert, frequently operating under the threat of secondary strikes while trying to reach those trapped under debris. The psychological impact on the population is profound, with many questioning when a ceasefire might be achievable given the current momentum of military actions. As the night progresses, the uncertainty of what the next wave of missiles might bring keeps the entire region on edge, with global powers calling for restraint, even as the fires of conflict burn brighter. The economic consequences are also starting to manifest, with commercial flights being diverted and business activities grinding to a halt in the most affected areas. The loss of life, though relatively contained today in some sectors, remains a tragic constant of this escalation. Reporting from the ground suggests that the resolve of the military forces on both sides remains firm, indicating that this cycle of violence may not see an immediate conclusion. Every strike and every interception adds to a growing archive of destruction that will take years to rebuild. The strategic implications of Iran's direct involvement cannot be overstated, as it shifts the paradigm of regional security and forces a reevaluation of existing defense treaties and alliances. The world watches as the skies over the Middle East remain filled with the trails of missiles and the smoke of explosions, documenting a period of intense historical significance and devastating human cost. The narratives from both sides are deeply entrenched, with little room for diplomatic maneuver at this stage. As we continue to receive updates, the focus remains on the safety of civilians caught in the crossfire and the potential for further expansion of the conflict into neighboring territories. The resilience of the people living through these strikes is being pushed to the breaking point, yet they continue to seek refuge and wait for a sign that the violence will abate. Every hour brings new reports of damage and new assessments of the strategic landscape, painting a picture of a region in deep crisis. The environmental impact of these large-scale explosions and the resulting debris is also a growing concern for long-term recovery efforts. As of now, the barrage shows no signs of ceasing, and the international community remains divided on the best path forward to ensure a lasting peace in this volatile landscape.